While the retail market focused on DIY price swings, institutional capital KTLY initiated a massive systemic rotation. ESCLAting 10 science in the Mid-Delhi East and a renewed all blockade have suddenly shattered the market's low volatility regain. As all pre-CES surge, the tech-heavy Nasdaq is leading a sharp market retreat, driven by heavy liquidation in semiconductor leaders. We are witnessing a classic risk-off repricing event. This shift is exposing vulnerability. High multiple growth portfolios while rewarding structural value. Understand this capital flow is now critical for maintaining portfolio insulation over the coming quarters. Let's first look at the foundation of the modern digital economy, the semiconductor industry. Advanced microchips represent the ultimate technological moat of our era, with companies like NVIDIA dictating global computing scale. This sector controls the computing infrastructure for artificial intelligence, automated defense, and cloud computing. However, these complex PHYSICal modes are incredibly capital intensive and rely on highly concentrated supply chains. When global shipping lanes face PHYSICal disruptions, even the strongest technological modes can experience severe operating bottlenecks. That is where the structural vulnerability begins to show. In direct contrast, look at the energy sector, where giants like ExxonMobil operate. These businesses possess an entirely different type of structural moat. Their value is rooted in PHYSICal, tangible assets, oil reserves, refining infrastructure, and global distribution networks. When geopolitical risk escalates, these commodity-producing giants act as a natural hedge. They convert geopolitical volatility directly into higher free cash flow. This stark divergence between virtual technology modes and PHYSICal commodity modes is defining the current market landscape. Institutional allociators are actively balancing these two distinct forces. But that is only part of the story. The underlying financial health of the S&P 500 is facing a critical testing period. Rising energy input costs act as an unhedged tax on global corporate margins. If all pre-CES remain elevated, we will see immediate margin compression across manufacturing, transport, and consumer discretionary sectors. This raw cost escalation threatens to undermine the earnings per share growth as sometimes currently precede into equities. The market is starting to realize that corporate earnings might not be as insulated as pre-successfully assumed. Now look at how the financial sector is positioned. As we approach the release of big bank earnings, led by institutions like JP Morgan Chase, expectations are shifting rapidly. High interest rates have supported net interest margins, but the macro backdrop is growing more complex. Rising geopolitical tensions often lead to a tightening of credit conditions and lower investment banking activity. If regional risks escalate, banks must increase their provisions for credit losses. This upcoming banking data will give us the first real look at how corporate liquidity is holding up under pressure. The next signal comes from management's capital allocation strategies. In the technology sector, executives are facing difficult choices. They must decide whether to continue aggressively investing in expensive infrastructure or to conserve cash to weather macro uncertainty. Meanwhile, energy executives are taking a very disciplined approach. Instead of rushing G to increase production, they are using on returning capital to shareholders through dividends and stock buybacks. This divergence in management execution shows a clear preference for capital preservation over speculative growth. It reflects a cautious outlook from corporate leaders. This cautious stance is also evident in how corporate leaders discuss supply chains. Meanwhile, companies are warning that geopolitical friction is making global sourcing more expensive and complex. Management teams are no longer focusing on just-in-time efficiency. Instead, they are prioritizing supply chain security through onshoring and friendshoring. This structural shift is necessary, but it introduces long-term inflationary pressures. As companies rebuild their supply networks, capital expenditure will rise, which could pressure profit margins across many industries. This is a structural trend that investors cannot afford to ignore. To understand why this is happening, we must look at the broader macro environment. The renewed blockade and escalating tensions in the Middle East have disrupted key global shipping corridors. This is not just a localized conflict, it is a direct threat to the global flow of commodities. When oil transit routes are threatened, transport costs rise immediately, affecting everything from raw materials to finished goods. This geopolitical risk premium is returning to the market, forcing institutional investors to reevaluate their portfolios. The era of cheap energy and frictionless logistics is facing its most significant challenge in decades. This brings us to the upcoming testimony of Federal Reserve Chair Varsh. The Central Bank is in a very difficult position. If energy-driven inflation remains high, the Fed will have less room to cut interest rates to support economic growth. Sticky inflation and high oil prices complicate the monetary policy path, meaning interest rates could stay higher for longer. This scenario would create strong yield pressure on growth equities and increase the cost of capital for businesses globally. The market is closely watching for a signal of how the Fed plans to balance these conflicting pressures. This brings us to a larger question about terminal risk. The biggest near-term risk is a major re-rating of high multiple technology stocks. When capital costs stay elevated and risk appetite falls, investors are less willing to pay premium valuations for future earnings. If global energy-wide disruptions continue, we could see a broader contraction in equity valuations, starting with the most expensive tech names. This is not just a temporary pullback, it is a fundamental repricing of risk across all asset classes. Institutional investors are actively adjusting their exposure to manage this risk. At the same time, we must consider the risk of localized supply chain failures. The semiconductor industry is particularly vulnerable because its manufacturing enters a highly concentrated geographical. Escalation in geopolitical tension near these manufacturing hubs could disrupt the supply of key components. Even a temporary disruption would have a major impact on global industries, from automakers to consumer tech brands. As these structural risks become more apparent, the market is beginning to discount the future cash flows of companies that are heavily dependent on complex global supply chains. So what changes next? As we look ahead, we are likely to see a major revaluation wave. The market's pre-success optimism is being tested by new macroeconomic realities. Investors are shifting their focus from top-line revenue growth to real earnings visibility and margin resilience. Companies with strong balance sheets, high pricing power, and tangible assets are likely to outperform in this environment. This transition represents a shift in institutional capital allocation, moving away from high-beta growth stocks toward defensive, cash-generating sectors. This trend is likely to continue as long as macro uncertainty remains high. This shift is not just a short-term trend, it is part of a multi-year transition. For the past decade, low interest rates and globalization supported high-growth tech companies. But the macro environment has changed. Higher inflation, persistent geopolitical risks, and rising cost of capital are creating a new economic backdrop. In this new era, asset insulation and structural value will be highly priced by institutional managers. Capital is rotating into sectors that can protect portfolios from inflation and supply chain shocks, such as domestic manufacturing and commodity producers. Let's review where this leaves us from a tactical perspective. On our breakout watch, we are closely monitoring the energy sector. It continues to show positive relative strength and strong capital discipline, marking it an excellent hedge. On our trim consideration, we are looking at high multiple tech names. These valuations remain extended and vulnerable to rising yield pressures. Balancing these two allocations will be key to managing volatility in the coming months. It is about building a balanced portfolio that can handle unexpected macro developments. Navigating these shifting market dynamics requires a disciplined, institutional-grade analytical framework. This is exactly what we focus on here at SR Money News. We analyze the underlying structural trends so you can stay ahead of the macro curve. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming deep dives into bank earnings and Fed policy shifts. Let us know in the comments how you are adjusting your portfolio to manage these risks. We will see you in the next analysis.